we've reached a critical juncture in the globalist program. That's why we're launching Operation Money Bomb 2015. And with the money we raise from this, we will be able to stay on the satellites and get on cable stations across North America, reaching tens of millions of more people right at the time they're receptive and looking for answers. So join us this September 16th and 17th. We're charging up, getting ready, and going in.
There's no doubt that our country is in serious trouble right now. And if you're wondering how on earth we ever got in this situation, well, I'll tell you how. When the Democrats showed their true colors, you got angry and you elected Republicans. And then when the Republicans showed their true colors, you got angry and elected Democrats. And when anyone suggested to you that both parties were corrupt and that neither side were looking out for your best interest, you acted like they were crazy. But the real definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's why it is vitally important that you wake up, America, and break the matrix. Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv, and The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Hostile actions against United States ships on the high seas and the Gulf of Tonkin have today required me to order the military forces of the United States to take action in reply.
Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible? He still has the gun. The gun is pointed at me right at this moment. Take a hold of his thumb and break it if you have to. We want to run our we have an explosion and we are defended immediately. Let's try our best.
People calling themselves members of the Weather Underground last night planted bombs in federal office buildings in Washington and Oakland, California.
They took the babies out of the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor.
Survivors of the USS Liberty are demanding a congressional investigation into what happened, an acknowledgement that the Israeli Air Force bombed a U.S. intelligence Navy ship.
The death of bin Laden marks the most significant achievement to date in our nation's effort to defeat al-Qaeda.
The Taliban is taking responsibility for shooting down a U.S. helicopter. More than 30 people were killed, and there are reports this morning that most of them are U.S. Navy SEALs.
There may be a false flag incident where some ship goes down and you be used for the excuse to accelerate the next war.
If there's one thing that has unified Democrats and Republicans and everybody in between, it's that we all hated the bank bailout.
The Department of Homeland Security is apparently on a huge ammo buying spree.
It comes out to like 1.6 billion rounds of ammunition.
Today, it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control 1 million people.
They estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill.
I'm here to warn people. You keep telling me to shut up. This isn't a game.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones. Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm Anthony Gucciardi, sitting in for Alex Jones, and it is the Money Bomb 2015. Operation Money Bomb 2015 is in full-scale launch on all cylinders, firing on all operations. And what this is, it is a 28-hour broadcast. I'm here with Dr. Edward Group, and we're going to cover some news right now and then get back to your calls. We're going to talk to Ad in Delaware, Ryan in Arizona, and a few others as well. They want to talk about Fukushima. They want to talk about the mainstream media, a number of different stuff. Dr. Group's got a big stack over there that we're going to talk about. Now, first and foremost, it is the Infowars Money Bomb, as I said, in 2015. The operation has been launched to reach 400 million people. Alex wants to raise $1 million to reach 400 million plus people through a satellite conglomerate that would be on mainstream television, smashing through the lies with the sledgehammer of truth in the alternative news. As in, he's already on television. He wants to have a larger presence because the mainstream media is dying. We know that there's a major shift towards the alternative media, and Alex is already pioneering that. He's going to bring it to television now. So you can go to Infowars.com/moneybomb. You could also go to InfoWarsStore.com and InfoWarsLife.com to support it. Your purchases and donations count towards the goal of $1 million to reach 400 million. There's 20% off Super Male Vitality, 20% off Survival Shield X2, 15% off Deep Cleanse. All the flagship products are discounted. A lot of gear is discounted. There's discounted food, storable food, you name it. InfoWarsStore.com and InfoWarsLife.com. Now, Dr. Group, I'm going to give you the floor for a little bit for you to go over some of these articles that you have. You had a stack here, and a lot of it's really important. So why don't you just go ahead and dig right in?
Well, what I wanted to do is find some information out there. I mean, and this is coming up every single day. We are making a difference. People are standing up, and a lot of times it's really hard to find some of the positive news, and people call me up and say, what is going on? I mean, are we really making a difference? Sometimes it feels like you have all this negative stuff going on, and you don't really hear about all the people standing up and trying to fight. So I wanted to pull and share with people some of the really good things that are happening and some of the positive things that are happening. And one of the first things that I have is the U.S. court finds the EPA was wrong to approve Dow pesticide harmful to bees. And this lawsuit was filed in 2013 against the EPA. Our environmental protection agency, just like the USDA and the FDA, that's supposed to be there to protect us, although we know that they're working with the big chemical and pharmaceutical companies. So this is a landmark case. This suit was filed by organizations representing the honey and honey beekeeping industry. So these guys got together, the small honey beekeeping industry, and went up against the EPA. And the group specifically challenged the EPA approval of the insecticides containing sulfoxaflor, saying the studies have shown that they are highly toxic to honeybees. And we know by looking at the decline in honeybees and looking at the decline in butterflies that it's all from Monsanto chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, the BT toxin that's blowing up the bee stomach. So this is one really, really good thing that, just goes to show that when people do stand up, even small organizations, we can create change. So that's one of the things that I have. The next thing that I have is people are also looking for alternatives. They're looking for ways to combat the toxic effects of things out there. We've been talking about it for years, but individuals are now children, just your moms, your dads out there that are taking control, doing research on their own, and coming up with solutions. This is a solution where a scientist unveiled wireless armor underwear that can protect men's sperm from harmful Wi-Fi signals.
That's pretty cool, actually.
The harmful effects of exposure to Wi-Fi and mobile signals has been a problem for a long time now.
It sounds silly, though. Like, you laugh at it. Like, it even sounds silly to me, like wireless underwear to protect from Wi-Fi. It sounds like a tinfoil hat for your crotch, right?
Right, but think about how many men keep their cell phone in their front pocket.
And they also sit with their laptops on their laps.
Exactly.
And it cooks their semen. It actually makes you infertile.
It does.
There's doctors that have been on record saying that our sperm counts are lower and lower every single time, and it really has to do with the electronic age that's been put upon us.
And it's not like these guys, we're just making this up. I mean, these are scientific studies that have been done by credible organizations, published in journals, that show a decrease in sperm count when you're exposed to Wi-Fi or electromagnetic radiation.
It's funny until it happens to you, and then it's not very funny anymore.
Right. I mean, that's one of the reasons with depopulation, being able to control the fertility in men and women. And, of course, that goes into phthalates and it goes into many other endocrine disrupting chemicals, but also the unseen, which are the electromagnetic frequencies. So these boxers are an innovation that uses a silver weave to protect against harmful radiation. And since most men carry a smartphone in their pocket and, like you said, put a laptop in their lap, it turns out that it's not good for your fertility. So 70 million couples are affected by fertility issues around the world. 70 million couples. So there is a strong correlation with sperm count. So, hey, that's good news. It's individual scientists, people coming up and saying, look, this is a problem. Let's come up with solutions.
And, think about this. I mean, if Wi-Fi can affect you think about it in the way of a biological human, right? What is your sole purpose at the biological level? Not spiritually, consciously. We all have different purposes. But your human body's purpose is to make another human body. It's to reproduce. If something can shut down that ability, I mean, women's bodies will do almost anything to maintain their reproductive capabilities, almost anything. In fact, mothers die having children. They basically shut down their own systems just to recreate. If something like Wi-Fi can shut down the reproductive capabilities of a woman, what else can it do? If it can kill the key infrastructure of the human body and all these other toxic substances too, what else is it doing to us? And also think about the power of that, all for convenience and capability of not having to plug into an Ethernet jack so that we can walk around downtown with our cell phones and have Wi-Fi all the time so we can take selfies. But then, of course, we're not able to do the very function our bodies are committed to doing and have spent the last bazillion years developing to do, and treading through Arctic temperatures, swimming through the oceans, building boats and shelters and mud huts, and killing boars and getting food for their families, living in caves, foraging, fighting wars, getting prepared to go on other planetary systems. Also, we can recreate. And here we are, after all of this venture, after these millions of years of what has led up to now to do this, and we're being defeated by Wi-Fi signals. I mean, think about
here's
that.
the thing.
Think how we've regressed. I mean, how far we've regressed.
Yes. But like we always talk about, there's always a solution for every situation. And not only, look, I mean, this is just an article.
I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be negative.
I know.
There are solutions to this. I'm saying, though, look at this weird issue that we've come so far with our human species.
Yes.
We're self-destructing on ourselves. We could have the utopia right now with all the technological advancements, but instead, we're just killing ourselves with a lot of it.
And I, took the liberty to look more into this, and there's not only underwear available now, but people have even created jackets, shirts, pants, hoods that you can wear. Hats are actually made of material now that will block harmful radiation. So, I mean, yes, we do have the body scanners in airports. I wouldn't even mind doing an experiment of putting some of this clothing on, and even though I've never gone through a body scanner, and I told myself I would never go through that.
Of you, and they don't even check their radiation levels. In the 90s, a bunch of like 100-plus radiation experts came together in the 90s and said that those cancer machines are generating, I don't know, what, 10,000 cases a year. Maybe we could look it up. I'm not exactly sure of the numbers, but they warned in the 90s, and they said this is really bad because we can't check the calibration of the radiation. We can't really figure out what's going on completely, and some of them were like thousands of times higher than they thought. And then, since a TSA agent paid $20,000 a month, a year, a month would be good, probably doesn't know how to calibrate a radiation-based machine, right? Also, you get out of the body scanners, but then what are you standing next to? The actual mega radiation machine that scans the bags. And they make you stand next to that for like 20 minutes while you wait to not go through the body scanners. There's no escaping it. That is just a radiation hellhole at the airport. Every time I go to the airport, it's just horrible. I can't handle it, man.
I hear you. I opt out of that all the time. But it'd be interesting to see if somebody actually bought all this and you can go online and just type in, it keeps you safe. EMF-proof clothing.
It doesn't matter that someone on YouTube brought like a massive metal shank through it just by putting their arm up. You know, it doesn't matter that you can get through the body scanner with extreme ease and they fail every single test possible and they've never caught one terrorist. It's for your safety. It gives you cancer for your safety. It's just massively blasting you with EMF radiation. But anyway, let's continue this.
But think about it. I mean, you know, one thing progresses to another. You have all the smart meters now in the home. So now they're actually coming out with EMF-proof paints for your house. So, I mean, the thing is...
complex, they have like 15 clusters of smart meters. I used to live in an apartment complex where I was on the edge of the building, and they had 20 smart meters in one spot at the edge of my apartment for the whole entire unit, the whole building unit, right? So it was all on the edge of it. And then people live in that house, and they're like, well, one of them's not that bad. How about 25 of them stacked up, or 20 or 15 or whatever, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, we have to take responsibility because, I mean, we obviously can't shut down the cell phone tower down the road. We can, you know, we can get rid of our smart meter. But, I mean, you know, you're going to have Wi-Fi. You're going to be bombarded with these things on a daily basis. So the good news is we have solutions.
Right now. You've inspired me to take some X2 Nation iodine.
Right, and that's one of the best ways to protect yourself from harmful radiations as well. This was in the New York Times, and I'm glad to see this because I've been really trying to get schools. As a matter of fact, we started a green team at my kids' school, and we're trying to get the water purification for the whole school, the air purified, change the lightings from fluorescent to LED, and then choose healthier options for the kids to eat during the day. And the New York Times just reported that school lunches are becoming healthier. You know, that doesn't mean necessarily that they're toxin-free, but 80% of the schools offered 2 or more vegetables per meal in 2014, and the data showed that it was up from 62% in 2000. 2 or more fruits were offered in about 78% of schools, up from 68% in 2000. About a third of schools now have salad bars. That's good news. I mean, that's definitely some progress. And actually, I've talked to people around the country, and some of the private schools have actually implemented all organic, non-GMO.
I've noticed that.
And give gluten-free options as well.
They all have organic. It's so messed up, isn't it? It always seems like the poorest schools are left with the most junk, man. It's just, it
really
hard.
is sad.
You go into a really, really bad, impoverished area, and everyone's walking around eating Doritos. And then we're bad for trying to help them. And then they say, you know, we're horrible people.
Well, if you know, all the welfare and all of the, you know, the government programs, if they initiated it to where those would cover baby formulas that were organic and the things that those individuals need, the low-income families need, then it would be a lot better across the board for everybody. But it's almost done by design. You know, the welfare system and everything the government does gives you the worst food, the worst baby formula.
No, of course.
You know, everything.
Suck on the teat.
Which ends up costing them more money anyway.
That's fine, because then they become slaves and debt slaves to the government forever. You know, it's obviously part of the mission to keep you low frequency, low consciousness. Now, why do you think, I want to go over more of these too, I would hit the headlines over and over and just go through that massive stack you have. Why do you think we have such tangible success in the health realm? I feel like every day there's a new story. Every single day there's a new health success. There's a new victory against Monsanto or against some of the CMF stuff. Every single time I go on the news, we have a major victory in the health field.
Because it's the truth. I mean, it's undeniably the truth. We know for a fact the electromagnetic frequencies are damaging to the body. You know, we come out with solutions for that. We know for a fact. Anybody can go look at vaccines and flu shots if they do a small amount of research and not believe what they're hearing through mainstream media. We know it's a fact that the amount that are given to a child is extremely damaging to that child. We know that artificial colors and sweeteners are damaging. There's been enough studies. As time progresses, we know that the damaging effects of pesticides, Roundup, glyphosate, you know, all of these things, genetically modified organisms, people are becoming educated. We know the damaging effects, and we're making progress because people are actually avoiding those things. The big companies never wanted to change. Kraft, Nabisco, all those companies, Pepsi, who just bought Suja juice bought a big stake in Suja juice, organic. All the big companies are realizing now, because of consumer demand, that they need to start going chemical-free too, because no one's going to buy their products anymore. It's exactly what we wanted and what we've been asking for years.
It's true. We're completely dominating the market and voting with our dollar. You know, I bet we're going to look back in 50, even 10, 20, 30, 40 years and say, what were we thinking? You know, because we feel like we have a responsibility right now to push all this and change all this, and some people agree and some people say you're crazy. In like 20 to 30 years, maybe 50, we're going to look back and say, how could we have ever thought that this was safe? What did we do? Just like in the 40s and 50s where they had like radiation rings and stuff, like, oh, get your radiation ring. It's really good for you. It enhances your health and it cures cancer and stuff, obviously giving you cancer. That's what it's going to be like. It's going to say, we're going to say things like the FDA said that was heart healthy. The FDA said that was good for you. The FDA said the RDA of vitamin C was what? We're going to be taking hundreds of thousands of the RDA of these vitamins and nutraceuticals, and it's going to be like no big deal. No one's even going to ask questions. At that point, we're going to understand. It's going to be like knowing that drinking water is good. We're going to be like, we drank water with what in it? And
right.
Granddad, you'd really turn on a tap and pharmaceuticals would be in your water? What the heck, you know? I think
arsenic, the number one cancer-causing and the most toxic chemical. Fluoride, number 2 toxic chemical known to man, was in your water supply.
It's like Rome.
What was going on?
Pipes. They had no idea. And some people would say, hey, maybe we shouldn't use these lead constructs to funnel all the water through it. Maybe that's why we're going insane. Not to mention we drink two bottles of wine every night. And we're like, oh, shut up. You're insane. You don't know what you're talking about. That's how I feel right now. I feel like it's at a certain point we're just going to realize what's going on. Do you want to hit some calls?
Yeah, sure. Let's go to another call.
Let's talk to Ad in Delaware since he's been waiting so long. He wants to talk about Fukushima, which is something I'm passionate about too. Ad in Delaware, what's going on?
Hey guys, I go by
AD. You're not advertising. Your mother's given name was not advertisement. That's very good. AD, what's going on?
I thought you might think that. Although I do, I definitely pass the word on air over here. But listen, what do you know about these chemtrails and Bill Gates' 2007 patent, where he's putting sulfuric acid in these chemtrails, along with the aluminum and everything else? I mean, this has got to be a serious problem. The soils over here are showing super high amounts of barium, the whole 9 yards. I mean, but sulfuric acid, of all things. And in the bay over here, we got seafood now that is showing the 137 isotopes from Fukushima. This is a nightmare. And for you, Dr. Group, I got a question. I'm trying to do some liver cleanses that I can afford right now. Do you recommend baking soda? And can I use Epsom salt safely to clean my liver?
You know, AD, I like your energy. You're really firing me up. I feel like we needed you right now. You're an energy drink to this program. Dr. Group, what do you think about all that?
Well, for Fukushima and the geoengineering that's going on, it's much more than the Bill Gates. I mean, we're finding all different kinds of things in the geoengineering programs, especially with chemtrails. I personally think, and what I've been told by individuals, the reason why there's sulfuric acid and everything is to acidify the soil. Not only that, but when you mix a highly strong acid with aluminum nanoparticles and barium and strontium nanoparticles, and for that matter, what you're getting on top of the geoengineering is you're getting all the Fukushima fallout, which a lot of people don't even know that just recently Japan has gone through massive typhoons. As a matter of fact, there's been 18 typhoons that have recently hit Japan over the last 6 months. 300 tons of highly radioactive material has leaked from Fukushima just recently. All that stuff, some of that goes into the atmosphere, some of it goes into the water supply. I've talked to people all over the world that are losing their hair, and women especially, because they're a lot more sensitive to radiation than men are, and it affects their thyroid and it affects their reproductive system. So if you couple that on top of all the other stuff that's in the air, it's a perfect solution to kill the soil. Okay, if you kill the soil, you can kill the food supply. If you kill the food, and guess what? As it rains, all that stuff goes into the water supply too. So you might as well say The air is going to be contaminated, the soil is going to be contaminated, and the water supply is going to be contaminated.
70% of it went in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
I had to do an hour speech on Fukushima, and I thought I knew a lot about it, but when I actually researched it, I learned even more disturbing stuff. I think it was 73% they found in an independent report went directly of the cesium directly into the Pacific Ocean. I mean, it wasn't even a question of what do we do to it. Oh, just dump it in the Pacific Ocean. Hey, guys, what do we do with all this cesium, this radioactive cesium? Oh, I know. Let's just dump it in the Pacific. Let's let California deal with it. You know, I mean, it's totally insane. And then the independent report also found that even in the initial blast, which isn't as much as later on that was leaked out of the plant, it's now been like 3 times more. It was 1.5 times the actual amount they claimed. And then after that, in 2013, they found that more than the initial apparently had been leaking of the radioactive cesium than ever before. So it's just getting worse. That's why Huffington Post called it the nuclear nightmare. You know, and I say, when are we going to wake up from it? When we're actually going to do something about it?
Yeah, let me tell you a few things that I would do if, and I have been doing to protect myself from radiation. Number one is iodine, and the Survival Shield X2 works really good for that. Another thing that works really good is zeolites. You know, make sure you find a good organic source. Activated charcoal. Melanin absorbs radiation, and as well, vitamin D works good to activate the immune system and keep your body strong. And a good fulvic humic acid blend actually is what I'm taking, and that kind of helps. That's kind of my radiation protection program. But I also add potassium orotate and magnesium orotate too, because both of those have been found to help absorb radiation. There's been, as far as why is all that geoengineering happening? Why are they trying to kill the soil? Well, what grows out of the soil, right? If you can't grow plants and your trees are dying and you can't get medicinal herbs out of that, the water becomes toxic. What do you end up having? You end up having a famine. You end up reduced production of the foods that we eat, which you're seeing right now, and you end up with droughts. Look at all the stuff that's happened because of geoengineering. Okay, they just had, all the typhoons in Japan. They had soccer ball size hail recently. They have sinkholes in that big, huge sinkhole in Siberia, sinkholes all over the place. You have massive amounts of wildfires right now going on out in California. You just had that massive flood in Spain. All over the world, you're starting to see all these effects of the geoengineering. So, that's another thing. I mean, what's the solution to that? The solution is just to keep your body and your family protected. Have air purification systems in your home. Have a good water purification system. Drink clean water. Breathe clean air. Eat clean food as best as you can, and try to keep your body as strong as you possibly can.
Personal preparedness of the highest degree, right, really is what it comes down to. Let's take one more call for now. Let's go to Ryan in Arizona. He wants to talk about the mainstream media. Ryan, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, how you doing? It's Brian with a B.
Oh, sorry about that.
I actually had a quick question for the doc real quick. I want to know, is there a difference between the nascent iodine and I take one called Lugol's iodine, Lugolls?
Yes. Well, there's a difference between a lot of different types of iodine.
We're not going to get into the difference between brands and stuff like that, but I think you should break down the difference in like key iodine, like potassium iodine versus nascent iodine, perhaps.
Yes. Well, potassium iodide is what the Lugol's is made of, and it's not a bad product. I mean, the difference is absorbable iodine and how it breaks down in your body and how you detoxify it, or at least take it to the nascent stage. I'm not sure. I think Lugol's will start with a potassium iodide base, and it's also in an alcohol base as well. And that's not to say it won't work, but it's going to be extra energy for your body to break it down. Whenever you look at the difference is the process.
Drill into the earth, 8,000 to 12,000 feet. All the different brands are completely different in their different, effectiveness and ways that they work. We've done the research, and we think that, we've chose ours for a reason. Survival Shield.
It's the only one in the world that comes from 99.999% pure iodine crystals,
which are purple crystals.
It's all about the purity in how the body breaks it down and utilizes it. And so that's the difference, because we take those pure crystals and put them through a complete detoxification process that we had to actually develop took us months to develop and be able to stabilize that iodine. All those other companies, the reason why they put it in alcohol and they use potassium iodide is because the potassium stabilizes the iodine so it doesn't outgas and you don't lose it. It's extremely hard to break it down in a usable form and to stabilize it to where as soon as you put it in your body, it's going to be utilized directly into the bloodstream. It doesn't have to go to the liver and get broken down first. It's immediately in your bloodstream, and that has a lot of different benefits, from detoxification to utilization of the cells by the cells in the body, and that would be a whole nother conversation. But I do have a video that goes into detail online on YouTube about iodine if you want to. It's about an hour long that will explain to you the whole full process of why you need it, why everybody needs it, and the processing and what the difference between the types of iodine out there. Personally, I don't like any type of herbal extract or anything in an alcohol base, because we know now with recent studies that alcohol in itself is an endocrine disrupting chemical.
That's right. Well, overall, I can't actually believe I try to take these calls. Everyone wants to talk about the products. Well, thank you guys so much for wanting to talk about the products. They are amazing. I'm actually trying to talk about things like mainstream media and everything like that. Everyone wants to talk about products. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate your support at InfoWarsLife.com and support of the Money Bomb. Now, we're about to go to break here in a second, but overall, I wanted to let you know that coming up tonight for the presidential Republican debates, the Infowars Nightly News is going to be covering them, and you can just watch right here on Infowars.com/show and or Infowars.com/Moneybomb. You can watch the debates live with commentary from the Infowars reporters that are going to be on here. I'm guest hosting right now. I'm Anthony Gucciardi with Dr. Edward Group. We're going to be back in just a few minutes here, but also Alex is going to be joining the program coming up later tonight as well. He's got Larry Nichols, and he's going to talk about some really, really crazy, wild, interesting stuff. So don't miss it, and we'll be right back in a few minutes. Thanks for watching the Infowars Money Bomb.
We've reached a critical juncture in the globalist program. That's why we're launching Operation Money Bomb 2015. And with the money we raise from this, we will be able to stay on the satellites and get on cable stations across North America, reaching tens of millions of more people right at the time they're receptive and looking for answers. Starting September 16th through the 17th, we're going to broadcast live for what I believe will be the final money bomb that Infowars ever runs as we prepare to launch to the next and final level of global awakening. Go to Infowars.com/moneybomb for all the information. Join us this September 16th and 17th for the 27-hour money bomb. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Sam Adams would be incredibly proud of what you've done in defense of human freedom, in defense of true liberty. Toxic-free body is the foundation of true health. Introducing Deep Cleanse by InfoWarsLife.com, a scientifically formulated blend of nanocolloidal zeolites and organic ingredients that aid the body in cleansing chemicals and toxic metals. Using our proprietary multi-step extraction technology, Deep Cleanse is our most affordable all-in-one cleanser with concentrated organic compounds like cilantro, milk thistle, fulvic acid, orange peel, zeolites, and others. Deep Cleanse doesn't hold back. Instead of buying 5, 6, or even 7 different cleansing products. We use decades-old scientific research to put together the Rolls-Royce of all-in-one cleansing. Look, there's a reason Deep Cleanse is the only product on the market that uses our proprietary Spigyrex herbal processing technique. We use only the highest quality organic herbs backed by serious research, and we still bring it to you at the best price out there. If you wish to find Deep Cleanse and experience the all-in-one cleansing, visit InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139. Knockout is back. If you want a product that has 10 known ingredients that naturally get your body to relax, your brain to relax, so you get deep, restful sleep, Knockout's it. InfoWarsLife.com. L-theanine, hops flower extract, lemon balm extract, valerian root extract, chamomile flower extract, L-tryptophan extract, melatonin, and more. All organic, all the natural sources. It's the same price as leading brands of melatonin that are 3 milligrams apiece. It has 3 milligrams, the standard recommended dose for an adult. It's got the GABA. So it would probably cost $50 to take all this as separate pills. It's $19.95. You take one or two of these, and it just is really clean, restful sleep is what the reviews are. It's what I've experienced. And it just synergistically puts everything in there. Visit InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.
This is a protest, and this is a riot. If you can't tell the difference, then you are part of the problem. Infowars.com.
Most of the Infowars radio listening audience is aware of the high-quality, affordable firearms available that are made right here in America at hdfirearms.com. One of the most exciting things about hdfirearms.com is the ability to upgrade your AR-15 platform today. They call it their low-profile platform, PVX muzzle brakes, proven to help control muzzle rise. 6061 billet material with Type 3 hard coating. Bolt carrier group for 308 and 556 ARs. Custom Kydex holsters, ideal for concealed carry with .080 thick Kydex to ensure durability. Most competitors' material use .060. Configure yours today at hdfirearms.com. And my favorite, single-stage trigger, a home run upgrade for your AR-15 and AR-10 platforms. Find out more at hdfirearms.com today or call 770-485-7015. That's hdfirearms.com or call 770-485-7015. Knockout is back. If you want a product that has 10 known ingredients that naturally get your body to relax, your brain to relax, so you get deep, restful sleep, Knockout's it. InfoWarsLife.com. L-theanine, hops flower extract, lemon balm extract, valerian root extract, chamomile flower extract, L-tryptophan extract, melatonin, and more. All organic, all the natural sources. It's the same price as leading brands of melatonin that are 3 milligrams apiece. It has 3 milligrams, the standard recommended dose for an adult. It's got the GABA. So it would probably cost $50 to take all this as separate pills. It's $19.95. You take one or two of these, and it just is really clean, restful sleep is what the reviews are. It's what I've experienced. And it just synergistically puts everything in there. InfoWarsLife.com is where you find the incredible nutraceuticals like Knockout.
What's wrong? You don't like a small group of psychos hijacking your country? Well, become president of the United States and change it from the... Never mind.
3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
We celebrate the 4th of July as a reminder of earning our independence from a tyrannical and oppressive government. Just a reminder to the Obama administration, there's plenty of room on the calendar for another holiday.
Symbols are powerful, and the globalists have hijacked the symbols of America. They've turned them into their own symbols. Well, we are restoring the idea of the true republic, not the counterfeit globalist empire, by promoting the icon George Washington and others. That's why we're rolling out an 100% made in America line of incredible pro-liberty apparel. We are repopularizing liberty. We are helping fellow Americans rediscover what made this country great. We are the spirit of 1776. We are 1776 worldwide. We are all brothers and sisters in arms in the animating contest of liberty in the long march towards humanity's ultimate destiny of freedom. Visit madein1776.com today and vote with your dollars to promote truly made in America, high-quality products, and promote the ideals of liberty.
Al Capone owed $150,000 in back taxes to the IRS, and he went to prison. Al Sharpton, he owes $4.5 million, and he goes to dinner at the White House.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. This is the Money Bomb Special. I'm Anthony Gucciardi here with Dr. Edward Group. And it is your support that obviously launches this rocket of alternative news into the stratosphere and disseminates the key alternative information at Infowars.com/moneybomb. And it's your support of the products that does this, but also we have a new interesting way brought to you by Staff Sergeant Joe Biggs to support the operation. Joe, why don't you come over here? So Joe's got a taser, and why don't you let the microphone hear what the taser sounds like? All right. not that close. So he's got a taser, and the first person that calls in throughout the broadcast to donate $10,000, what's going to happen?
All right, so if you call in, you're going to donate the $10,000. Now, you have to request this to happen. It's going to be the first person. I'm not doing this multiple times now. This is a Sabre taser, 800,000 volts. Now, we're going to do this because we need to help support the InfoWar. But what's going to happen is Leanne McAdoo is going to tase me until I hit the ground. So this is going to be interesting. This will be live on TV, on radio. You'll be able to see it. You'll be able to hear it. You'll be able to go back and watch the video. So it's going to be interesting. I'm putting myself out there.
Joe's a true info warrior over here. He is. So the first person to call in and donate 10 grand, you get to watch Leanne tase Joe Biggs until he falls to the ground.
And Joe will autograph the taser and send it to him.
Yeah, there you go. Me and Leanne will autograph it in a silver pen and we'll send it to you.
There you go. Legally, assuming that you're legally allowed to have a taser in your state or whatever it is like that. So I want to see him get tased by Leanne, so I'm hoping that someone will call in and donate.
I'm scared, but I'm excited because if someone does that, that's great help for us. I mean, that sends us on the trips. Given I'm not crippled for a while. But
well, the trips are expensive, too. I know that you guys go out all the time and you cover everything like the Trump event.
Yeah, I mean, it gives us a chance to go out and further promote the InfoWar, like going out and doing the stunts like I do, the Hillary for Prison thing at Donald Trump, going out and haggling different politicians and things like that. That gets us out there. That gets people watching. When I was out there in the stadium at the American Airlines Center, 20,000 people in there. People were all on their phone looking up Infowars.com, like wanting to buy this T-shirt. It was huge, man. I got a standing ovation. So you're helping us support this. It's amazing. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart and everyone here, man. It's amazing.
Well, thank you, man. I'm looking forward to watching you get tased. No, I don't want it to happen.
We have a defibrillator here somewhere.
I don't want it to happen, but it's for a good cause. I will support.
Yeah, I mean,
or maybe tase Dr. Group. You know, maybe.
Oh, no, yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
my wife wouldn't be too happy about that.
You just talked about how you spent 40 days in the Mojave Desert or whatever. I'm sure you could handle it.
No, that's back when I was like 20 years old. And now I wouldn't even take a chance on it. So.
All right, well, we're going to hit a few calls before David Knight comes up. But just to give you some information, David Knight is going to come up and host and tell you about some of the news he's got. He's got much more breaking news. And he's going to talk about the Republican debates tonight, what he sees coming, what he's got some insider information on that. And then, of course, I believe it's at 7 o'clock, the debates start, and we're going to have commentary live. So you don't have to turn on the mainstream media to watch the Republican debates. Watch them here. Watch them on this stream on Infowars.com/Moneybomb. Send it to your friends and family. We're going to break it all down, what they're saying, what's fact, what's fiction, and go further into it. First, we're going to go to our friend.
Give them the number, though, because if someone wants to call in and give that $10,000 for Joe.
You're right. You're right. Dr. Group, I am a failure. The number is for operators standing by, which includes, by the way, Joe Biggs, Leanne McAdoo, all the reporters and stuff. If you want to talk to them and donate, 1-888-253-3139, 1-888-253-3139, or go to InfoWarsStore.com, and you can donate there as well. And InfoWarsLife.com. There's specials across the board on X2, Super Male Vitality, Knockout. Everything on there is pretty much fully discounted to the lowest possible prices that you're going to get. So now is the time to stock up, too. If you want some super high-quality nutraceuticals, even if you don't care about supporting this and reaching 400 million people with alternative news that's going to change their life, that's fine. Get some nutraceuticals for super cheap on InfoWarsLife.com. Cheapest prices out there, period. All right. Now we're going to go to some of our friends on the calls. And Dr. Group, you wanted to talk to
number 11.
You wanted to talk to Janine. Janine, what's going on?
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I had some great news. I had hoped to talk to you today, Dr. Group.
Well, I'd hope to talk to you, Janine, and now it is fated. It has happened.
I know. Well, I've been sitting on the phone for 2.5 hours.
I'm sorry. We had a lot of people to get to, but you know what? You had a special place in our hearts, so that's why we got you.
Yeah. First, Anthony, Alex needs to change his ad for the Secret 12. He says to put it on the tongue. You need to put it under the tongue so it's absorbed sublingually. A lot of people don't know that, and it doesn't say so on the bottle. It's under the tongue.
Well, there's different ways to take it, but yes, thank you very much. So what else is on your mind?
Well, that was it. I had a blood draw on Monday. The nurse or my doctor called me this morning at 10 o'clock in the morning to give me my results, and I had requested a B12 level. Now, your range is supposed to be between 180 and 900. After taking the Super 12 for about 10 weeks, my level was at 1,400, no more shots.
Wow.
Congratulations. I mean, B12 is one of those things that everybody needs, too. It's just when you evaluate the standard American diet that's out there right now, it's exactly what I did because people tell me, look, everybody should be on this or everybody should be on that. I'm like, yeah, right. Let me, do some more research and look into it. And that's one of the reasons why I do believe that everybody should be on a good B12 supplement. And the difference between the Secret 12 and every other B12 out there is that every other B12 uses cyanocobalamin, which is a cyanide-based synthetic form of B12.
Sounds like a joke, but it really is.
It is.
And I've taken cyanocobalamin, by the way, in injection form because I'm my own human guinea pig. And when I took it, I injected cyanocobalamin, and my stomach hurt. I felt really bad. I felt lethargic and gross and disgusting and like I wanted to throw up. And I've also injected methylcobalamin, pharmaceutical-grade B12. And, it feels good for sure. But the adenosylcobalamin combination with the methylcobalamin and the Secret 12, it's a knockout formula.
It doesn't make sense to me. I have a hard time understanding it why all of these so-called vitamin nutraceutical companies, formulators, scientists out there, pharmaceutical companies that are putting out these multivitamins that are mostly sold in drugstores. All you have to do is look at how B12 is broken down in the body. I mean, B12 is broken down in the body to two cofactors. One of them is methylcobalamin, one of them is adenosylcobalamin. So the best thing you can possibly do if you're going to take B12, and since we know now that you're not going to get B12 in the red meat and eggs, I mean, maybe a tiny amount, but a lot of people are having problems breaking B12 down. See, that's where the problem comes in. That when you realize that everybody needs a certain supplement, why not give them what they need, which is the methylcobalamin and the adenosylcobalamin? And the Secret 12 is actually on sale, isn't it, right now through Infowars Life, Anthony?
Yeah,
15% off?
15% off for the Money Bomb only.
And talk about everybody that's low energy. I mean, that's all you hear these days. Like, oh, after 3 o'clock, I have to have a venti latte with 4 shots of espresso in it. Take something that's actually good for your body, and that, increases your metabolism naturally, and that every cell in your body utilizes. One shot, one dropper full, provides 1,000 micrograms of adenosyl and methylcobalamin. So congratulations, Janine. I really appreciate that call.
Absolutely. Thank you, Janine, for calling in. And thank you so much for trying Secret 12 and saying such nice things about the products at InfoWarsLife.com. I love all of them, Secret 12 included. We're going to go ahead and now talk to Old Man Bill, only because he has the best call-in name. Old Man Bill, what is on your mind?
Hello, gentlemen. I actually just got off of work and got onto the Infowars store, and it's pretty exciting. I noticed you have the Hillary for Prison on sale for $10. So
yeah, it's $9.90. I forgot to mention that, actually. Thank you. The Hillary for Prison shirt, which is normally like $20, Alex actually decided to reduce that to $9.95. It's a loss leader, which means he makes no money on it. He actually loses money on it. So if you want to get that, your support is appreciated. If you want to get it with some other products so he actually makes money from the Money Bomb, that would be great too at InfoWarsStore.com. The Hillary for Prison t-shirt that Joe was talking about is $9. So he's pretty much making no money on that and losing money because it's free shipping. Everything at InfoWarsStore.com is free shipping. So he's paying for the shipping. He's paying for the shirt. It's $9. But it's an awesome shirt, and maybe pick up some other stuff too. But sorry, go ahead, Old Man Bill. Or can I call you Bill for short?
Actually, you guys came up with that. Whoever screened it, it's pretty funny. Call me whatever you want. Yes, I'm excited about the shirt. I found they're a great way to get the message out there. I wear the 9/11 one a lot, and you forget when you have it on, and you go through the day and you're like, why are so many people coming up? So a lot of people will see you wearing it. They come up. So I really recommend the shirts. So anyway, I forgot what I was calling. The product. Alex is always saying not to thank you guys, but I just want to give a special shout out because a year ago I called in and you were talking about mainstream media. Alex was the only one that would share my story. I was a stay-at-home dad. I was all organic, cloth diapers, married a wealthy woman, and then I caught her having an affair with a cop. So Alex was the only one that shared it. He showed me that there's a feminist issue with that. So I have to thank him for that.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you for calling in, and thanks for listening to the program and all the nice words and supporting the Infowars Money Bomb 2015. And now, the time is up for me. David Knight's going to come in with some breaking news and some interesting information on the Republican debates. Dr. Rob Group, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on.
David's going to come in. He's going to cover the Republican debates. He's going to break down some more news. I'm Anthony Gucciardi. Thanks so much for your support in the Infowars Money Bomb. Infowars.com/Money Bomb.
In my arms. Yeah, it's Alex Jones, baby. All right. We're talking about
Infowars.com, which had its humble beginnings as a small website attached to Alex Jones's radio and Access TV shows, has become the leader in alternative news and information. And through the years, Alex has taken the financial support provided by listeners of the radio show, readers of the website, viewers of his DVD documentaries, and freedom lovers all over the world and reinvested that support back into the Infowars news operation. With your support, we've expanded our offices, built studios, hired reporters, video editors, writers, other support staff, and created the premier alternative news network. You made this possible with your support, and we sincerely thank you. The time has come to expand once again, and this time we want to literally launch Infowars.com into space. That's right, we're launching our own satellite broadcast signal to cover all of North America, and we need your help. But first, let us show you how it works. Shows are created live, like The Alex Jones Show, or pre-produced, like the Infowars Nightly News in HD. These shows are launched according to the atomic clock, and the HD signal goes through a closed caption data embedder, which sends a signal to a closed captioning service, and they begin the process of adding text to the screen. This is done in real time, and it is mandated by the FCC. The signal then goes to an MPEG transport streamer, which sends a signal to a satellite uplink facility. They blast the signal from the uplink satellite to the stationary satellite positioned to cover all of North America. The satellite is named SES-3 and run and maintained by the largest satellite distribution network, SES, which maintains a global satellite infrastructure to reach 99% of the planet's population. The satellite sends a signal back to Earth, where it is available to thousands of local television stations. It's also available for free to anyone who owns a C-band satellite dish pointed at 103 degrees west. Using a receiver, they can tune to 3,740 megahertz vertical and receive our broadcasts on Channel 11. There are over 2,200 TV stations in the United States, hundreds in Canada, and another 1,200 in Mexico that could potentially receive this free-to-air broadcast. Each one of these local stations is able to grab the satellite signal and broadcast it to millions of homes in North America, potentially to over 400 million people. There is an enormous cost in buying and maintaining the equipment, paying for the satellite bandwidth, and the cost of closed captioning service. The monthly service fees alone total nearly $40,000, which is why we're crowdsourcing InfoWarriors all over the world to help us reach our goal of $1 million, which will allow us to reach 400 million people. It's called Operation Money Bomb 2015. Imagine being able to reach 400 million people who are victims of mainstream media mind control. The ones who still believe in the left-right paradigm, enforced drugging, water fluoridation, and the plan of divide and conquer. Your support will allow us to help these people break free of their mental shackles, help bring about a peaceful revolution, and restore our republic. If you're able to help us financially reach our goal, then log on to Infowars.com/moneybomb and contribute what you can. But there's another way to help that will not cost you anything. Go to Infowars.com/moneybomb, download our informational packet, email it to your local television station, then follow up with a phone call to ask the station to carry the Alex Jones Show and the Infowars Nightly News. Everyone can join in, and we cannot prevail unless we have your help. So please, log on to Infowars.com/moneybomb today and help us make Operation Money Bomb 2015 a resounding success. Your support will help us reach 400 million people. I'm David Knight for Infowars.com. Thank you for watching Operation Money Bomb 2015 and for your support.
Not being satisfied with laser weapons that are both invisible and silent, companies like Boeing have announced that they're going to be taking their laser weapons to the next level. Previously, operators have had to pay close attention to know exactly when they've been firing these silent but deadly weapons. Now their lasers will be equipped with Star Trek and Star Wars sound effects. So next time Boeing's high-energy laser mobile demonstrator shoots down a drone mid-flight, it's going to sound exactly like Han Solo's blaster. But that isn't all that science fiction has influenced. In addition to cell phones and ion propulsion and handheld devices, Star Trek and Star Wars have also influenced futurists like Ray Kurzweil. Kurzweil is once again repeating his prediction that humans will meld with computers in the future. But instead of 2045, Kurzweil is now suggesting cyborgs will be a reality by the 2030s. The director of engineering at Google said that people will soon be able to connect their brains directly to the cloud and augment their existing intelligence with thousands of computers. Thanks to DNA nanobots making the connection, our thinking will become a hybrid of biological and non-biological thinking. Kurzweil adds that by the early 2040s, people will be more like machines than they will be human. And he even suggests that we'll be able to back up our brains like a hard drive. But guess what? Star Trek already conquered this territory in the 90s.
I am the Borg.
The cyborg represents the dark side of humanity. What happens when technology falls into the wrong hands and is used to dehumanize us? The Star Trek Borgs became one with their technology. It stripped them of their humanity and their individuality. They became like zombies in a metal shell. They were now part of a collective network on a vast computer system controlled telepathically by this mysterious Borg queen. Kind of makes you think there's a possibility something could be telepathically controlling us if we ever were to upload our brains to the cloud, as Kurzweil suggests.
Assimilate this.
And even though we hear the word singularity by 2045, the fact is man merging with machine has already happened. Professor Kevin Warwick is head of the Cybernetics and Robotics Department at Reading University in the UK. In 1998, he was able to connect his nervous system to the internet via a chip implanted in his arm. He then used the web to allow him to control a robotic arm. And that was in the 90s. And he, like Kurzweil and other transhumanists, give this ominous warning that by not upgrading, we would be considered subspecies in the future. And surprise, surprise, artificial intelligence is one of the topics up for discussion at this year's Bilderberg conference. Former DARPA director and now Google exec Regina Dugan will be in attendance. Dugan is helping to develop and promote the idea of an ingestible identification microchip. Yeah, absolutely not worrisome at all that Google is now hiring military leadership. Users would swallow a chip in pill form every day in order to obtain the superpower of having their entire body act as a biological password for cell phones, cars, doors, and other devices. But I'm sure it means absolutely nothing that artificial intelligence will be discussed this week at a top secret meeting of the world's power brokers, when people like Elon Musk and Stephen Hawking have warned that artificial intelligence has the potential to destroy humanity if it falls in the wrong hands.
I have one simple request, and that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.